drones with the hard metal of tanks, artillery, planes, but also to put defence people right at the heart, because they need to be at the heart of their plans: better pay, better housing.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. Welcome to a brand new work week, a brand new month. It's a Monday, the second day of June for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all of our news, weather, and sports that you need to get you up and get you out the door here this morning. The season is over for the Nebraska baseball team. We'll be talking about that coming up today. The Huskers losing to Oklahoma in the elimination game yesterday. The Chapel Hill Regional losing by the score of 17-1. We'll talk about that coming up. The legendary career of Creighton head baseball coach Ed Service came to an end last night as Creighton lost to Arkansas 8-3 in the championship game of the Fayetteville Regional. So the Blue Jays season is over. 9 teams, meanwhile, have already qualified for the Super Regionals. We'll take a peek here this morning. The top 2 seeds in the NCAA college baseball tournament have been eliminated. Had a ton of Legion baseball over the weekend as the Hastings teams all got into action for the summer season. The Hastings 5 Points Bank, they went 3-1 in the Grand Island Hastings tournament. Hastings Johnson Imperial Homes also going 3-1 over the weekend. Hastings runs a sweeping a doubleheader from Lexington and their season opening ball games last night. Hastings Sodbusters, they are red hot. The Sodbusters 6-0 in the season. They will be in action tonight against the Fremont Moo. And we've got the NBA and NHL playoffs, the championship games getting their way this week. So ton of talk about here today as we get you up and get you going for a Monday morning as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios here this morning. Good morning.
And a good morning. Yeah, tough break for Nebraska and Creighton over the weekend, but made better by the fact that Texas is not advancing. They were ousted from their regional, from the Roadrunners, UTSA, Texas San Antonio, picking up a good win. Man, I was just really impressed over the weekend with the parity in college baseball. The way the fours were showing up and taking the fight to some of these top dogs. We even see it in the Baton Rouge regional where LSU and Little Rock, they're going to go into a if necessary game tonight. And I think we're seeing more than any college sport, which makes it really fun and exciting and completely unpredictable. Baseball is unpredictable anyways, but the parity in talent level has been tremendously narrowed. When it comes to the top team in the nation to teams like 314. And I was telling you that like earlier on in the season, when we were dropping games to Grand Canyon and we were dropping some of these ones that you're like, man, like head scratchers, how the hell do you lose to these kind of schools, man? That the parity is so much better in college baseball, and we're seeing that on full display as the tournament unfolds. A lot of surprises, a lot of upsets over the weekend, and it's going to make for some exciting times as they continue on their road to Omaha. We've got several good baseball games on tap for today.
Yeah.
Lots going on.
Yeah, I was in Omaha over the weekend, got home late yesterday afternoon and flipped on and watched the Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. Yep. They had a great baseball game played yesterday, and I'm with you. Yeah, this time of the year is great for college baseball. Nothing like the regular season. It seems like it's ratcheted up a whole bunch when it gets to this NCAA tournament, and I'm with you. There's 9 teams that already qualified for the Super Regionals next weekend. The other teams will will go tonight. There's a lot of series across the nation that are in the if necessary game. So 9 teams have already moved on to the Super Regionals, which will be next weekend. They're the winners of the 8 Super Regionals will move on to the College World Series in Omaha.
Yep.
So
and yeah, like I said, I think there's, you mentioned Ole Miss. They're going to be taking on Murray State. The Racers have found their way into an if necessary game. You got LSU versus Arkansas Little Rock. Little Rock, one of kind of the surprises of the tournament, and so plenty of good baseball. And if you're a fan like me of the underdogs, those are your 2 dogs that you're cheering for tonight. Even though I'm a big LSU baseball fan, and so I'm probably not going to cheer for Little Rock, but you can get behind them because they're a fun story. Arkansas Little Rock going up against LSU, and then I think Murray State. A lot of people are going to be back in the Racers to see if we can get some of these little guys into the Sweet 16.
Nebraska, 17-1 yesterday. They lost to Oklahoma, fell behind early. The Sooners jumped on the Huskers 3 runs. I think it was in the first inning, 1 in the fourth, 5 in the sixth. They had a 9-0 lead before Nebraska knew they were in a game yesterday. They got pummeled by the Sooners 17-1.
Just, straight up ran out of gas, right? This miracle run that we've been on, playing our way through the consolation ladder. I mean, we've been playing must-win baseball seemingly for the last month. Basically, the entire month of May has been must-win baseball for Nebraska, and I think what we saw was a team that just flat had given everything that they had in the tank, and they were empty when they went to start the car yesterday against Oklahoma. It just was no gas in it, and it wouldn't fire, and that was kind of the end result. Oklahoma, of course, they've got no problem pouring it on against the Nebraska team. So, yeah, Sooners, tip your cap to them. I mean, that was just a series where they were flat out better. I mean, they beat us in 2 straight games, and we were able to come back and get the win over Holy Cross. Another brilliant pitching performance from Ty Horn. I don't think we can end this season and talk about this season without talking about the job that he did in must-win games for Nebraska to continue their postseason. We threw him up against Oregon. He goes 120 in the Big Ten championship game. Even wanted to go out for the 9th, and Bolt says no. Let's let the bullpen finish this off for you. Turns around, takes the rock Saturday morning against a good Holy Cross team, and all he does is throw 7 1/3 and over 100 pitches again. So the workhorse, he's got a really bright young career, and I think Husker fans can be excited for the prospects of Ty Horn moving on in the future.
Creighton last night, they lost to Arkansas 8-3 in the championship ball game with a Fayetteville regional. So with that, the service of Ed Service comes to an end as he announces retirement before the beginning of the season. 43-16, Creighton ends up the year. Services finishes his 22 years as the Creighton head coach with a record of 721, 420-1. Played a lot of baseball games, and he won a lot of those. So Ed Service is done as the head coach of the Creighton baseball team.
Yeah, and long career, and it'll be weird watching Creighton baseball without him in the dugout and on the third base coaching box line. Really, just a great career there at Creighton, and continued to make that baseball program relevant. And really excited to see the future for the Jays baseball program. But tip of the cap to Ed Service, his service is done for the Creighton Jays. Speaking of streaks, wanted to throw this one by. I didn't know if you caught it over the weekend. NAIA baseball, LSU Shreveport completed a perfect season at 59-0 en route to the NAIA baseball championship. They didn't lose a single game.
I saw that, and that's amazing. We kind of talked about that. Like I said, I was with some baseball people over the weekend in Omaha. We talked about that. That's a hell of a streak. 59-0. They didn't lose a single game. Someday, things are not going to bounce your way. Baseball, like you said, is kind of a weird sport. Someday, things are not going to bounce your way, and you might drop a game sometime during the year. Not these guys. 59-0.
Unbelievable. And wasn't it, you're aware of LSU Shreveport, right? Like that was a team that was in the women's side of the bracket.
Yep.
On the basketball side, so like it's not like they're going up against minor competition. I mean, this is the NAIA we're talking about, a very competitive baseball school. 59 wins in a season, perfect season en route to a championship. That's just incredible. Like I can't even put into words a comparable streak like that because it doesn't exist. You know, you can talk about all these NFL teams and the way they go through 17-0, 18-0, and you try for your perfect season. That doesn't even come close to the amount of luck and bounces and clearly talent that you have on a baseball team to win 59 straight baseball games. Hell, the Rockies might lose 59 straight baseball games. They might lose 59 straight, but winning 59 straight, that's incredible.
So I was leaning back to grab my information on the Colorado Rockies. Their misery continues. They are not a good baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
What are they now? They lost yesterday to the Mets 5-3. Extends their losing streak to 8 games. It's their 4th 8-game losing streak of the season. The Rockies are now 9-50. The worst record through 59 games of any major league team in the modern era. That's since 1901. They have been swept 10 times in their 20 series so far this season, tied for the most sweeps through 20 series with the 1962 New York Mets, the 1970 Milwaukee Brewers, and the 1994 Athletics.
I think there's going to be a legitimate race to 10 wins. Hastings Sodbusters have an opportunity starting a month and a half after Colorado to be the first to 10 wins. The race is on.
Digging even deeper into the record books, Colorado is the 3rd fastest team to the 50-loss mark, behind only, get this, the 1884 Kansas City Unions and the 1876 Cincinnati Red Stockings, who got to 50 losses in 57 games. So the 2025 Rockies, with one more victory, they'll be just the 2nd team to have 50 losses when they record their 10th win.
That's outstanding.
The first one being the 1876 Red Stockings.
And as impressive as that losing is in that amount of losing, LSU Shreveport is still a more impressive 59-0 streak by far.
Yeah.
I love all those stats.
Colorado Rockies.
They're horrible.
Not having a good season.
Sell the team.
You kind of mentioned this last week, that if you're going to see Jack Caglione for the Omaha Storm Chasers, that you better get to one of his games soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the chances of you seeing him in Omaha are over because he's been called up by the Kansas City Royals. One of the top prospects in baseball, less than a year after being chosen by the Royals with the 6th pick of the draft. He's going to make his major league debut in his professional season so far. The 22-year-old Caglione has crushed pitching at the AA and AAA level, combining for 15 home runs, 56 RBIs in 50 games. He's actually hitting .322. Caglione is expected to join the Royals as an outfielder when they start his series at St. Louis on Tuesday. Yeah, pound those Cardinals. Caglione is going to be in the Kansas City Royals lineup. He's been playing at first base. He's been playing a lot in the outfield. Expect him to be an outfielder for Kansas City. He'll be in the lineup probably tomorrow night against St. Louis.
Tim, don't go looking on the waiver wire for him in fantasy baseball. I drafted him early. Did another draft and stash. As tradition of the Sons of Pitches, we like to go out and find prospects and throw them on the very limited bench spots we do have. I did it for this guy because I knew it was going to be something special. He is. And, mixed emotions because I'm excited for this kid's future. I think he's going to be one of the bright stars of the of Major League Baseball. Really, though? Do we have to start him against the St. Louis Cardinals? Couldn't we have waited just one more week before he got the call and had Omaha fans an opportunity? Kansas City, though, it shows you how aggressive they want to be in chasing down Detroit. The Detroit Tigers, best team in the American League, just right behind the Dodgers for the best record in baseball. And they're going to take the fight to the Tigers. And so this call-up is a warning shot. It's a signal to the rest of baseball that Kansas City wants to contend this year. And we all know about these mid-major or mid-market teams, right? Like, their window of opportunity is so small. And if you don't cash in and make the right moves at the right time, your shot at a World Series won't exist for another 20 years. So I applaud Kansas City. It's starting to feel a little bit in your gut, and you get the little butterflies going, that maybe this could be another year for the Show Me State to make a run at this thing. I mean, St. Louis is playing great baseball, and you'd love 40 years removed, another repeat of 1985. I'm not saying that that's going to be my World Series prediction, but I'm saying that the two organizations in Missouri are making the right chess pieces to make that a possibility. We should have a fun midweek series here with the Cards and the Royals. Now the added excitement of Jack Caglione. What a move from Kansas City, and I cannot wait to see what this kid does.
All right, 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. If you'd like to chime in with anything we've talked about here today or anything else on your mind, maybe something not even sports-related, something bugging you from over the weekend, give us a call, 402-834-1330. We'd love to join us on our little breakfast gathering here on Extreme Sports. If you'd like to leave us a message, you can on our social media sites. Lots of people standing by in the lobby here today. Just drop us a message on any one of our social media sites. We'll get to those throughout the morning here today. Plenty to talk about. We've got some comments from Will Bolt coming up following the Huskers' loss to the Oklahoma Sooners yesterday. Obviously, he was short, to the point, not a whole lot from Will Bolt, but we'll tell you what he had to say coming up. Also going to be hearing from Scott Frost this hour. The Big 12 has their football spring meetings, and it was within the last week or so that Scott Frost was up before a bunch of reporters at the spring meetings. And this is going to be one of those coaches that you're always going to, I guess, lay an ear to in the sports world to see what he's got to say. Maybe not, I don't know why, but people are. People are going to be interested in what Scott does down at Central Florida, and it might be a year or two. I can't see us being fully entrenched on what Scott Frost is doing in Central Florida 10 years from now, if he stays that long. But in the next year or two, everybody's going to be wanting to know what he's doing down there at Central Florida, just because I guess people like to follow Scott Frost.
I guess, I heard enough of his coach speak when he was here. He tried. He failed miserably. And I'm done with him at that point, right? Like,
second chance. Give the guy a second chance.
Sure, whatever. Like, go have fun at Central Florida, but never again in red and white. Never again for the Scarlet and Cream. You blew it. You failed.
Give the guy a second chance. I'm always into giving guys second chances.
I don't care about Central Florida. They're on my radar of football teams that I'm worried about or concerned about or want to know. Like, I'm more apt to listen to Ryan Day and see what the Buckeyes, what sort of challenges are they going to present to our Husker football team. This just in a lot. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, Central Florida doesn't hit my radar anymore.
So you're saying that the couple of cuts I have with Scott Frost, I should just delete?
No, I mean, you can play them.
I'm going to play them.
We may have people in the lobby that are still interested.
I'm interested in what Scott Frost has to say.
Yeah. Well, then we'll play the cuts later on in the show.
That's all right.
Yeah,
we've got time on this show. We can do that.
Yeah.
All right, 7:18. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for a Monday, and good morning.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We'll start off at the state capitol, where the legislature is set to adjourn today. Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen and state lawmakers celebrating Friday the passage of several new laws aimed at protecting children online. Part of that online safety package passed includes banning addictive design features like infinite scroll for users under 13. I call it doom scrolling. Waste a lot of my time. Requires parental consent for minors under 18 to open social media accounts. Outlaws AI-generated child pornography and mandates schools to implement school cell phone use policies during school hours. The governor and Attorney General Mike Hilgers emphasized the dangers of digital addiction, praising Nebraska for acting proactively while others wait. A proposal to ban certain hemp products and synthetic cannabis was pulled from consideration on Friday after it became clear the legislature lacked the votes to overcome a filibuster. The bill was sponsored by Senator Kathleen Kauth and was paused due to growing concerns over its impact on medical marijuana and small business. Despite the controversy, Governor Jim Pillen did have two appointees to the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission get approved, who were both known for opposing marijuana legalization. Some lawmakers, like Senator John Kavanaugh, criticized the appointments for potential bias in regulating medical cannabis. And Grand Island Public Schools is launching its annual free summer meals program starting today to help fight food insecurity and ensure children have access to nutritious meals over the summer. All children and teens ages 1 through 18 are eligible with no enrollment in GIPS required. There will be free breakfast and lunch at 5 GIPS locations. Again, no registration or ID required, all available for $5.50 for adults. The program designed to support families by offering easy, no-barrier access to healthy meals during the summer break. It's 7:21. We'll head back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, the season is over for the Nebraska baseball team. The Huskers dropped a 17-1 decision to Oklahoma yesterday in the elimination game of the Chapel Hill Regional. The Sooners jumped on the Huskers early, scoring 3 runs in the first inning, 1 in the fourth, and 5 in the sixth to take a 9-0 lead. Nebraska scored 1 run on 6 hits with 5 errors. Oklahoma totaled 17 runs, 18 hits with 1 error. Nebraska finishes the season at 33-29. The legendary career of Creighton head coach Ed Service came to an end last night as Creighton lost to Arkansas 8-3 in the championship game of the Fayetteville Regional. The Blue Jays finished the season at 43-16. Service finishes his 22 years as Creighton's head coach with a record of 721, 420-1, the second winningest coach in the history of the Creighton Athletic Department. 9 teams have won regionals and will move on to the Super Regionals this weekend. They include Arkansas, Auburn, Florida State, Coastal Carolina, Arizona, Duke, West Virginia, Texas San Antonio, and Louisville. The top 2 seeds have been eliminated from the NCAA baseball tournament. Top seed Vanderbilt was knocked out by losing to Wright State 5-4 on Sunday in the Nashville Regional. Second seeded Texas was eliminated by Texas San Antonio in the Austin Regional Championship game. Hastings 5 Points Bank started the Legion season by winning 3 of 4 games at the Hastings Grand Island Tournament. The Chiefs beat Lincoln Standing Bear by a score of 13-2. They beat McCook 15-0, and they beat Twin River 11-0. They lost to Lincoln Pius 7-3. Hastings will play at Columbus on Tuesday. First pitch will be at 7:30. Hastings Johnson Imperial Homes, they also went to 3-1 over the weekend. They'll play at Columbus tomorrow night. First pitch there will be at 5 o'clock. Hastings Runza swept a season-opening doubleheader from Lexington last night, 12-4 and 15-0. The Warriors will play 2 games against South Central Post 245 on Tuesday. Action gets underway at 5:30. Hastings Sodbusters are 6-0 in the season. The Sodbusters will host the Fremont Moo coming up tonight. First pitch is going to be at 6:35 out at Duncan Field. That is a check on your sports headlines here this morning on Extreme Sports. It is 7:24. Weather-wise, expect a high today, somewhere around 88 degrees. Going to be a warm and breezy day tonight. A warm and breezy day today with a high of 88. Going to have some thunderstorm possibilities into the forecast by late this afternoon into tonight. In fact, a good chance of rain. Going to bring a cold front to the area. Tomorrow's high is only going to be about 71. So enjoy the day while you can. As you get up and get going this morning, temp stands at 64 degrees. We've got clear skies. We've got south winds at 11 miles per hour. As you're listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:25.
Cam Raceway brings the action every Friday night with high-speed thrills and dirt-flying excitement for the whole family. From A-class and non-wing warriors to junior sprints, junior cage karts, and flat karts, there's something for every race fan to cheer for. Grandstands open at 7. Ages 13 and up are just $10, and kids 12 and under get in free. Want to be part of the action? Pit passes are just $20, with gates opening at 5:30. And mark your calendars. June 27th and 28th, the now 600 National Series comes to town, featuring drivers from all over the nation and some of the best racing you'll see all season. Cam Raceway, where the dirt flies and legends are made.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will and Tyson Havronik with you on this Monday. You're listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, thanks for joining us, whether you're listening online with us at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, maybe on your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're listening to us. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. We'll start our Legion baseball coverage this week. Hastings 5 Points Bank, Hastings Johnson, Imperial Homes, both opening the season over the weekend in fine fashion, winning 3 of 4 games. They'll play at Columbus tomorrow night, and they'll be at home on Wednesday, and that's when we'll begin our coverage of Legion baseball for the 2025 season. Hastings will play North Platte on Wednesday. The seniors game, which is Hastings 5 Points Bank, they'll play the first game at 5. The juniors will play the second game at 7:30. Evidently, when the brackets came out for the Kansas City tournament that Hastings will be playing in beginning Thursday, Hastings got the first game of the tournament at 12 o'clock noon. So they're going to play the first game and allow the guys a little, maybe an hour or 2 of extra sleep before they head into a Kansas City and play a weekend tournament. They've got the 12 o'clock game on Thursday. So they're going to be playing the first game on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. The juniors, which is the Braves team, they'll play at 7:30. We'll have both of those games for you here on your exclusive home for Legion Baseball for 2025. That's Extreme Sports. Our coverage begins 4:45 on Wednesday. So that's a broadcast note for the week. We'll have a Legion Baseball coming up for you on Wednesday here on Extreme Sports.
Speaking of weekend tournaments, inquiring minds in the live lobby want to know, how was the excursion to Omaha? How was the accommodations in the Walmart parking lot?
I posted a picture. I posted a picture on my social media site, so if you follow me or if you see it, I think it's on my personal site. Yeah, I spent, I spent Friday night in the Walmart parking lot.
Uh-huh.
It was all right. No one bothered me. Saturday, the accommodations were somewhat better. I just stayed at the ballpark.
There you go.
Yeah, we had a little. I was with the little Hastings Orioles baseball team over the weekend, so we had like a little dinner barbecue for the kiddos on Saturday. So it got to be like 8:30. I said, "Why am I going back to Walmart? Why don't I just stay here?
Just camp out at the ballpark."
I just camped out. There were no signs around that I couldn't stay there, so I just stayed at the ballpark.
There you go.
On the Saturday night. Woke up Sunday morning because we had a 9 o'clock game. Worked out well.
Kids had fun?
Kids had fun. 1-2, won their first game of the year.
There you go.
Stroman got soaked.
Nice.
Kids gave him a little water shower.
Little water shower?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So kind of a non-eventful time, as much hype as I gave it on Friday, staying at the Walmart parking lot. Really no incidents.
And visitors on the show that said that they were going to be?
I was a little late getting back to the RV on Friday night.
I got you.
I spent time at you-know-where.
Uh-huh.
I was a little late getting back to the RV on Friday night, so if I missed you in the Walmart parking lot that I said I was going to be there, I was there. The rig was there, but Raja didn't answer the door. So
nobody was home.
Raja was there with the air conditioner on. Raja was in there.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so I was a little late getting back to the RV on Friday night.
I can understand that.
We had our favorite restaurant I had to stop by.
Of course.
And no, they weren't there.
Nope.
They weren't working.
Damn shame.
So, how's your weekend?
It was pretty uneventful, to be honest. I mean, there were some highlights. We went did the Summer Sounds concert tour Saturday. They were in front of baristas. Jesse Carr Band was playing in a street dance. And so we went to a concert Saturday night. That was tons of fun. Saturday morning was, of course, the Hastings Marathon. And the brewery was open early at 10 a.m. for breakfast nachos. I wasn't working, but you had me at breakfast nachos. So I went over and enjoyed some breakfast nachos and a few beverages. We put the Husker game up on projection TV in the back. The whole lacrosse game.
I thought you were going to tell me you ran in that half marathon.
Oh, hell no. No. I sent Jesse a text Friday night, and I'm like, hey, just double checking these breakfast nachos that are going to be served tomorrow. Non-athletes get to also partake in the breakfast nachos. And she goes, yes, you don't need to run 13 miles to have some breakfast nachos. So I was appreciative of that. Had some good breakfast and enjoyed friends and family over the weekend. So,
I don't think I've ever had breakfast nachos.
Mm-hmm. So it's all the good fixings in breakfast food that you have. You got your eggs, got your gravy, a little bacon in there, some cilantro and some greens, and then they put a little sour cream, some salsa on there, caked in nacho cheese, and it's the homemade chips that Kitty's Roadhouse make your base for the nachos. So they're pretty. They slapped. They were good.
Breakfast nachos.
Yeah.
Could be a new camping feature.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a new camping feature.
Should throw that into the rotation for breakfast food.
I'll get Bond to get the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Get Bond to get the recipe, and we'll have some breakfast nachos maybe. Anyway, lots going on. As we mentioned, Nebraska disappointing loss to Oklahoma yesterday. Their season is over. Huskers losing to the Sooners 17-1. Husker head coach Will Bolt obviously was disappointed with the loss.
Obviously, we ran into a buzzsaw today. Disappointed, obviously, that we didn't, play very well, especially in that first inning. Didn't get off to a very good start. Didn't really pick each other up. And, we give credit to Oklahoma. I mean, they capitalized on our mistakes. A lot of balls hit hard in the gaps. And I thought their starter did an excellent job. And what I told our team is, regardless of how this game ended, I know our team defied a lot of odds this year by overcoming a lot. Injuries, illnesses, just tough breaks, tough starts, stayed in the fight. And, to get here from where we were sitting early in conference and, early in April, great accomplishment by our players. And I'm forever thankful for how hard they fought.
And the Sooners jumped on the Huskers early, scoring 3 runs in the first inning, 1 in the fourth, and 5 in the sixth to take a 9-0 lead. And the coach says he was somewhat surprised that his team came out so jittery in that first inning.
Yeah, very much so. Because, like you said, I mean, we've played at such a high level, especially defensively. Very uncharacteristic of our team to, play that kind of defense. And there's going to be a lot of balls in play with Walsh on the mound. And there was no indication that was coming. I wouldn't even really say jittery, honestly. I mean, we had a comebacker back to the mound and then a 50-50 play we didn't make. And, just kind of snowballed from there, honestly. I think more than anything, it just kind of became a little contagious as the game went.
And that is it. That's Will Bolt didn't say anything more. I don't think he had to. They were completely demolished by Oklahoma, losing a couple of games to the Sooners during the regional. 17-1. Little exclamation point for the Sooners. In your face, 17-1 to the Huskers, and the season is over for Nebraska baseball.
Like I said, you look back and there's a lot to be proud of. I'm not a big believer in moral victories. I'm going to win every game, and that's just my mentality going into a matchup like that. Obviously, it stings, but when you take the look back and you realize how much must-win baseball you played and how much must-win games that you were able to overcome, A lot of adversity, certainly with injuries. I think the key now is just getting everybody healthy and maintaining that health throughout the course of a season. That's been the Achilles heel for Nebraska over the past couple of years. I mean, it's kind of the same old song and dance. And if we can just put together a roster and be injury free, but the guys that stepped up into their roles when the starters went down, you go back to third base and the way that position was filled and the production you get out of your bench players who has gone into the season knowing that they probably weren't going to see too much playing time, and then when it matters, they have to get the call and fill in due to injury, and are able to be capable of that. Like that's just grit, man. That's Midwest grit, and we showed it this season. Again, I think that what we saw Sunday was a team that was just flat out of gas and didn't have it in them, and that was pretty evident just by the way the barrels were finding balls for Oklahoma. And those kind of things are going to happen when you have a team that's just flat out of gas, and an Oklahoma team that was gunning up and wants to have a rematch against North Carolina. They'll get that opportunity. They've got the if necessary game tonight, and that one should be exciting over there in Chapel Hill with the Tar Heels and the Sooners. But like I said, lots to look back on, lots to be thankful for this season. They gave us postseason baseball, which I think if you would have asked us in April whether we were even going to see the postseason, whether we were even going to see the conference tournament, was in question at one point this year. So to be able to overcome that, give yourself some postseason ball, making sure that basically all the major sports for Nebraska got at least some sort of shot in the postseason, that's exciting stuff. And baseball was able to do that. So
all right,
we'll get ready for next year.
Stop all that bull crap. Would you term the Nebraska baseball season a success this year? Remember, we started the season preseason ranked. We started the season with a lot of new guys that everybody was so anxious to bring in. We completely retooled our roster from a year ago. So would you term the season as a successful season? It's a team that you and I sat here and I don't know if we downgraded them, but we had our doubts about this team. We scratched our way in to the conference tournament. We're the last team in. We scratched our way in. We won the tournament. We got into regional play. Would you deem this season a success if you look back on it?
Yeah, absolutely. The mark of a good baseball team is a postseason appearance. Look at Vanderbilt. Look at Texas. They're no further along than we are. They're all eliminated. They were ranked and had arguably a hugely successful season in the amount of wins they piled up. But they're going home too. You get to postseason ball, man, anything can happen. We see it with UTSA. We saw it with Wright State. We saw it with Murray State and some of these other small schools, man. Anybody can have anybody's number when you get to the postseason, and that was what makes it special. And I think the mark of any baseball team, if we take basketball, for example, your mark of a successful basketball season is to make the field of 64, right? And Nebraska baseball made the field of 64. So, yeah, I think that you coin this as a success. Anytime that you can get to the postseason is a mark in your favor, and continues to be a stride forward. So, yeah, absolutely.
All right. I was just checking out Ryan Martin chiming in. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Caglione. Yeah, they're chiming in. Did they sleep in this morning or what? That was right out of the gates. We talked about Jack Caglione being called up by the Kansas City Royals from the Omaha Storm Chasers, and they start this series tomorrow with the St. Louis, with Caglione probably in the lineup as an outfielder.
I-70 series, St. Louis and Kansas City.
He might just be waking up.
He's not chiming in.
Yeah, he's on a summer schedule now. Hell, he probably sleeps in till 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Hell, I'm on my summer schedule.
Unless the kids get him up. Yeah, you're on your summer schedule. You get up.
We get there.
Yeah, some days are better than others, but
right.
You still get up. 7:44, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. It's a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, if you'd like to chime in, we'd love to talk to you. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number, 402-834-1330. Leave us a message on our social media sites as well, as we're monitoring those comments as we join you at the breakfast table here this morning. So we've talked Nebraska baseball. I mentioned Scott Frost. They have their Big 12 meetings evidently during the spring. It was either last week or at the end of the previous week. I just stumbled across this morning and thought it was neat to maybe throw this on the show today. Scott Frost, of course, spent the time in Nebraska, was out of coaching for years, and now he's been hired as the head coach down at Central Florida as he returns to a team that he took to an undefeated season a handful of years ago. Anyway, they asked him at the Big 12 meetings here recently about how the last 5 months have been for the former Husker head coach.
Fun, hard but fun. The first month was difficult. Just rebuilding a whole team, and I think anytime you're a new coach in this day and age, that's going to happen. We had, I think, 49 guys on our scholarship guys on our team when I took the job. You need 85, so you don't have very long to try to find them, and that was tough. And really, between portals, it felt like it used to feel. It's just developing relationships with the players and trying to make the whole team better and being out on the field with guys and the things we all love to do. And then the second portal was too much. But now that that's over, I feel like it's going to be a really good stretch of 8 months, and I just have fun coaching in Orlando and at UCF. I just love being here.
All right, something we've probably heard before, right? Anyway, he's excited to maybe get going for the 2025 season.
It's a tough league. Watching the tape, there's a lot of good teams in the league, but we got some talent here, and a lot of the talent is fueled by the fact that there's so many good players around our area in Florida, in the Southeast, and a lot of guys that want to play at a place like UCF, and that definitely helps us. But, we're 4 returning starters, I think, that were full-time returning starters on our whole team. Not very many that played much last year. Not a lot of returning production. So, our coaching staff's going to have to do a really good job to get some talented guys that haven't played much up to game speed really quick.
All right, that's Scott Frost. Again, he was at Big 12 spring meetings here recently. That's what he had to say. It sounds like he's still underdeveloped as far as a roster is concerned. He's got just over 60 players now on the scholarship down at Central Florida, looking for 85. So the vacancy sign is still up. If you're a college football player and like the palm trees and the warm weather of Florida, Scott Frost may have a job for you at Central Florida.
We got the opposite problem of most universities that are contending for a college football playoff spot. We're trying to figure out how the hell we make these cuts to get our roster down to size. And Scott Frost is like, please come in. 4 returning starters. That's going to be rough. That's a rough rebuild.
Yeah, so don't expect great things out of Central Florida this year in the Big 12, but hell, who knows?
Don't really expect great things out of Central Florida in the Big 12 5 years from now, but that's just me.
That's you.
Seen it.
That's you being you, Scott Frost hater.
Done with it.
Well, I'm not a pure Scott Frost believer. But I wish him well. I hope he turns things around down there, gets his life back in order.
Yeah,
I'm not against giving people second chances, just not here.
Yeah, exactly. Anywhere but here. Florida's a great place for you. Far away from the Midwest as possible.
Beautiful weather, palm trees. He's still got a house there.
Yep, it just didn't work. It didn't work here, and that's all I can say.
God. All right. So that's my take for this morning. A little Will Bolt, a little Scott Frost.
Good stuff.
What else is on your plate for today? Yeah, we got baseball action, the regionals. There's a handful. We've got 9 teams that have moved on to the super regionals. So there's a bunch of college baseball action going on today. I think Oklahoma plays. Is it North Carolina and Oklahoma in our regional? Mm-hmm. And there's a bunch of games. So obviously, there's only 9 teams that have qualified out of the 16. So there's obviously 7 or 8 teams still playing today in college baseball.
Don't want to pour salt in the wound to some of the people in our live lobby, but the NBA Finals have been set. The Knicks bowed out this weekend. Pacers were able to finish off that series.
Yeah, we didn't get to that earlier.
Had a lot of Knicks fans in the lobby. We had one Pacers fan, too. I don't want him to get into a fight or anything, but I guess hats off to Indiana as they move on. And
against the Oklahoma City Thunder. NBA Finals will get underway on Thursday. On the ice, the Stanley Cup Finals will get underway on Wednesday.
Can anybody stop Oklahoma City? Like, what's your take on it? Like, OKC is so loaded.
I think we talked about this before the series got underway, and both you and I thought that OKC was the favorite. And we also thought Florida was the favorite on the ice. Guess what? Both of those teams are in the finals.
Whew, look at us go. Finally getting some predictions right here on the show. It's taken 9 months, but we're starting to act like we know what we're talking about.
I can hardly wait for the football season. The Blazing 5. Yeah, we're going to bring that back again for this football season, just if you're wondering. And we think that since we have gotten teams into the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup, that all of a sudden we might be experts on something. Probably not.
I'll read some comments here about Scott Frost, since you brought him up this morning.
All right, what are they saying?
You might know that the comment section's less than receptive. Ryan Martin, Frost always sounds worn out in his pressers. It'll be interesting how they fare in the Big 12. They've got KU to deal with. They got those Jayhawks. New stadium renovations, by the way, at Kansas. Looks awesome. Only 4 returning starters? Question mark. He's going to be taking a lot of margarita-fueled recruiting trips. Knew that was going to come up at some point in the show. Seriously, though, like, you wish him well. Second chances, make good on it. I hope he has fun coaching again. Like, and I don't want to sound like, I just hope everybody has fun. Like, I hope he finds the joy in it, because the last few years at Nebraska, that joy was just sucked out of him, and it was just sad watching him on the sideline.
Yeah, you could tell he was having no fun.
Zero
fun whatsoever. And as fans, we were having zero fun too.
We were perhaps having, like, if you could have -0, we were below 0. It was a very cold reception for Scott Frost. And
I'm looking for the day that Nebraska plays Central Florida in a bowl game. You know it's going to happen.
I hope that we have a much better season than drawing Central Florida in a bowl game. I hope that our expectations at this point in the program's development are playoff bound and not bowl games with UCF. That's where my head's at.
Central Florida undefeated a couple of years ago. A few years ago.
Playing a college football playoff. Now that would be popcorn.
Beat Auburn in the bowl game.
That would be popcorn. Didn't they make like a fake championship trophy for themselves?
I think they did.
Yeah.
That's all right.
These self-proclaimed national champions.
I didn't think we were going to be centered on Central Florida and Scott Frost. Again, something that was not on my show card for today. I just kind of stumbled across that this morning. Thought I'd throw that in there.
There's still bitterness, man.
When's it going to end? Will we get the season rolling again? People won't care what's going on at Central Florida.
Yeah.
They'll see the scores pop up on the bottom of the ESPN scoreboard thing. Oh, Central Florida's getting their asses kicked again.
Yeah, once we start getting drunk on Roulade, man.
Yeah,
I don't care what Frost does.
Yeah, take another swig. Oh, Central Florida's losing to so and so 58-6. Drink another. Take another swig. All right, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning, 7:54 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We'll start off at the state capitol today, where after a long 90-day legislative session, the legislature set to adjourn today. Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen and state lawmakers on Friday celebrated the passage of several new laws aimed at protecting children online. Part of that online safety package passed includes banning addictive design features on social media apps like infinite scroll, or as we call it, doom scrolling, for users under 13. It also requires parental consent for minors to open a social media account and mandates schools to implement cell phone use policies during school hours. Governor Pillen and Attorney General Mike Hildress emphasized the dangers of digital addiction, praising Nebraska for acting proactively while others wait and see. A proposal to ban certain hemp products and synthetic cannabis was pulled from consideration on Friday after it became clear the legislature lacked the votes to overcome a filibuster. The bill was sponsored by Senator Kathleen Kalf and was paused due to growing concerns over its impact on medical marijuana and small businesses. However, the story continues to bob and weave as, despite the controversy, Governor Pillen appointed two to the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission who are both known for their opposition to marijuana legalization. They were confirmed by the Nebraska legislature, while some lawmakers, like Senator John Kavanaugh, criticized the appointments for their potential bias in regulating medical cannabis. Meanwhile, over in Grand Island Public Schools is launching its annual free summer meals program starting today to help fight food insecurity and ensure children have access to nutritious meals over the summer. All children and teens age 1 through 18 are eligible with no enrollment in GIPS required. It'll be free breakfast and lunch at 5 GIPS district locations. No registration or ID required. Adult meals even available for $5.50 a piece. The program designed to support families by offering easy, no-barrier access to healthy meals during the summer break. 4 minutes until 8 o'clock. Let's head it over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
So you're telling me the legislature is adjourning today?
Yes.
And we've been discussing the entire first part of the season, the first part of the year, on the issues that we've already voted on that they did not come to a conclusion.
Consensus on.
Like
Yes.
medical marijuana or sports betting.
So unlike Nebraska baseball, which is a success, I think you can deem this 90 legislative day session where they only had like 3 things to do to fulfill the will of the people. You can deem it as a massive failure.
Yeah, we better get Dan Lanowski on the air. Better get him on the air and talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we spent 90 days talking about things that we voted and approved during the last election cycle, and all they had to do was basically implement what we already voted on, and they failed to do that.
They scaled back one. They passed another. They couldn't figure out how to implement the medical marijuana thing, and we never did even figure out sports betting and the locations and online betting, and those were all the things that people were asking for.
All right. I just thought I'd bring that up.
But kids under 18 can't have Facebook, so there's that.
In sports, the season is over for the Nebraska baseball team. The Huskers dropped a 17-1 decision to Oklahoma yesterday in the elimination game of the Chapel Hill Regional. The Sooners jumped on the Huskers early, scoring 3 runs in the first inning, 1 in the fourth, and 5 in the sixth to take a 9-0 lead. Nebraska scored 1 run on 6 hits with 5 errors. Oklahoma totaled 17 runs, 18 hits, and 1 error. Nebraska finishes the season at 33-29. The legendary career of Creighton head coach Ed Service came to an end last night as Creighton lost to Arkansas 8-3 in the championship game of the Fayetteville Regional. The Blue Jays finished the season 43-16. Service finishes his 22 years as Creighton's head coach with a record of 721, 420, and 1, the second winningest coach in the history of the Creighton Athletic Department. 9 teams have won regionals and will move into the Super Regionals this weekend. They include Arkansas, Auburn, Florida State, Coastal Carolina, Arizona, Duke, West Virginia, Texas, El Paso, and Louisville. Top 2 seeds in the NCAA baseball tournament have been eliminated. Top seed Vanderbilt was knocked out by losing to Wright State 5-4 on Sunday in the Nashville Regional. Second seeded Texas was eliminated by Texas San Antonio in the Austin Regional Championship game. Hastings 5 Points Bank started the Legion season by winning 3 of 4 games at the Hastings Grand Island Tournament. The Chiefs beat Lincoln Standing Bear 13-2, McCook 15-0, and Twin River 11-0. They lost to Lincoln Pius 7-3. Hastings will play at Columbus on Tuesday. First pitch will be at 7:30. Hastings Johnson Imperial Homes is also 3-1. They'll also play at Columbus tomorrow night. First pitch will be at 5. Hastings Runza swept a season-opening doubleheader from Lexington last night, 12-4 and 15-0. The Warriors will play 2 games against South Central Post 245 on Tuesday. Action gets underway at 5:30. Hastings Sodbusters are 6-0 in the season. Sodbusters will play host to the Fremont Moo tonight. First pitch will be at 6:35 out at Duncan Field. That's a check on your sports headlines at 8 o'clock on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Monday, we'll have very warm conditions with highs right around 90 degrees. It'll be breezy with a southerly wind 10 to 20 with gusts at 30 miles per hour. Tonight, chance for strong to severe storms. Could see strong winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Large hail also a secondary threat. The tornado threat is rather low tonight. On Tuesday, continuation of chances of showers. 60 is the high, 45 Tuesday night, and 73 on Wednesday.
Right now, we've got south winds at 13. We've got clear skies. It's already 67 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
June is busting out in live music at Malata Vista Winery. This is Mick, and there is nothing like a summer's evening out on our patio, especially when it's filled with great music, award-winning wines, and mouth-watering foods. Saturday on June 7th, you can come enjoy country music sounds of Grant Pickrell. Grant is from Fullerton. Then on the 21st, it's classic rock and country from Evan Rosentrader. Make your reservations now on our website at MalataVistaWinery.com. Come see us, Malata Vista Winery, St. Paul, Nebraska. Learn more on Facebook or on our website.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
All right, Mike Welch, Tyson and Bronick with you as I huddle up on Extreme Sports for this Monday. Again, we'll start our Legion baseball coverage Wednesday night. It'll be Hastings taking on North Platte First National Bank. Seniors will go first, so the Chiefs will play the first game at 5. The Braves will play the second game at 7:30 on the air with a pregame at 4:45 on the Wednesday as we start our Legion baseball coverage for another summer. Exclusively here on Extreme Sports. Won't be able to hear Legion baseball anywhere else. we've got it for you right here all summer long. And our first game will be on Wednesday with North Platte First National Bank in town to take on the Braves and the Chiefs out at Duncan Field.
Well, that's we'll get the season underway and we'll play ball. Wanted to pass along one note before we head out. Congratulations to Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Got married over the weekend.
I saw that.
So Josh Allen tied the knot.
Denny Hamlin and his girlfriend, they had their third child over the weekend. Baby boy.
Aw.
Yeah, Denny, he didn't know if he was going to race yesterday, but his girlfriend had this baby early, so I think he hopped back on the plane. They ran in Nashville.
What did he do? Give the baby knuckles and then just was like, all right, I got to go race.
Yeah, we'll see you after a while.
Jesus.
Give you a few knuckles and head out. He actually had a good night last night, ran third in Nashville. I'm sure he's on his way back. He probably left right after the race and went back.
Sure.
He's in North Carolina, so they were only racing in Nashville. Probably about a 10-minute flight. 10-minute flight. I'll be back after the race, honey. Hang in there. Hang in there. Anyway, Ryan Blaney won the NASCAR race in Nashville. Didn't get to that during the show, but Carson Hocever second, Denny third, Joey Logano fourth, William Byron fifth. They're running Michigan this weekend.
Another McLaren 1-2 in Formula One in Spain over the weekend. Piastri, Lando Norris, and then George Russell taking third after Max Verstappen from Red Bull was issued a 10-second penalty and given 10th place, and he's now 1 point away from a driver suspension for erratic behavior.
Really?
Yeah.
So they only have so many chances, huh?
It's like 3 strikes, you're out.
Like in soccer, you get the red card and you're out.
Yep. Same thing. Just like driver's license points. You get points docked off if you're erratic. And Max intentionally swung into George Russell because he was mad because stewards told him he had to give the place back because he cut track limitations to take that place, and they told him he had to give it back, and he didn't want to, so he slammed Russell as he was coming around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got docked some points, huh?
Getting heated in Formula One.
All right, so that's what's going on there. We cover everything on this show.
That's right.
We'll do it again tomorrow morning at 7. Again, if you'd like to listen to the show again, you can. Just go to all of our social media sites. There's a podcast section. Download the podcast. Listen to it when it's convenient for you. If not, join us again tomorrow morning at 7. Anything else on the plate we need to hit here?
Just Sodbusters baseball tonight against the Moo. Trying to go to 7-0. Fremont's got a good squad. It'll be should be a fun time.
You on the mic? You on the mic tonight?
I'm on mic duties tonight, so.
Field microphone duties?
We'll be out and about, getting the crowd involved and having a good time in Duncan.
Head out and watch the Sodbusters and give Tyson some guff.
Please.
Give you some guff, make your night a hard one.
You give me guff, though, you go on the field. That's how it works.
Yeah. We'll get you in a contest.
That's
All
right.
right. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night. We'll see you again tomorrow morning at 7 here on Extreme Sports.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for